Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with my 2-week review with the Xiaomi Mi 10. Now coming up to 2 weeks that I've had this phone, and I just kind of similar to the Mi 10 Pro, wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys have had about this phone, and obviously considering the price point of this Mi 10 coming in at 3,999 Yuan, this phone is offering a lot of the same experience that you're getting from that Mi 10 Pro. Now I've been spending a lot more time with the Mi 10 Pro, but I do still think for a lot of you guys, this will be the sweet spot in terms of price and performance that you're going to want to get this Mi 10 over that Mi 10 Pro. So let's just go down a range of these questions and let's get started. So the first question really is my 2-week review. How is this thing holding up after 2 weeks? And unlike my Mi 10 Pro, when this shipped to me, guys, it shipped without a screen protector. Now, normally I would be very nervous about using a phone without a screen protector, but because we have Gorilla Glass 5 on both sides of this phone, it is held up beautifully. There are absolutely zero scratches to speak of on this device. And yes, the back is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but I still love this color. Don't get me wrong, it's a gorgeous color, glossy edge as well. The way it meets the corner there is just a very nice feel in the hand. It's not as premium as I would say the Mi 10 Pro is, but it is still very much a premium device. Now, one of the things I've run into recently is finding screen protectors for these phones, and that's another question you guys have been asking. Where can I get cases and screen protectors for this Mi 10? They're not readily available at the moment, so I'm just using the one that came included in the box in terms of the case, but when it comes to the actual screen protector, I'm just having to be careful with this phone. But like I said, because of that Gorilla Glass 5, I have no scratches to speak of so far. 2 weeks in, this phone is holding up beautifully, and so that's really a non-issue. I think at this point, you should have no problems. And Xiaomi has made some really durable devices here, but that are also very premium in the hand. The second question I've been getting is about performance, and specifically which version of this phone should I get. Now, as you can see here, I have the 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage version, and I think that is going to be the sweet spot for this Mi 8. Now, you can get the 128 gigs version as well, but I do like the extra storage in this case. 8 gigs of RAM, guys, it's crazy to think that that is now what we consider the minimum in this day and age, but I think you should get by all right. The Snapdragon 865 is on board here. We have the Adreno 650, and so this thing will still fly. Yes, it is not as smooth in terms of maybe holding apps in memory as I would say compared to, let's say, the Mi 10 Pro, but 4 gigs of RAM is really going to be more of a future-proofing aspect. So don't feel bad about getting the 8 gigs of RAM version right now. It is totally fine and should suit most people's needs. The other question I wanted to address is availability. When is this phone going to be available? We now have a confirmed date. It is March 27th when the global version of the Mi 10 series is coming out. So that'll be both the Mi 10 and Mi 10 Pro. As of right now, the only place you can get this phone is through third-party resellers, and you will get the China ROM version, which luckily is security level L1 for HD Netflix capability. But let's face it, it's still running the China ROM with the limited language support. So if you do though want to pick up with those limitations the China version, you should definitely go check out Trading Shenzhen. That's where I got this unit itself, and you'll see the link in the description there where you can go and buy this specific unit. As for being in Hong Kong, there are places like in Sham, Shui and in Mong Kok, some other stores where you can pick it up. I'll also leave some details on where you can pick this up in Hong Kong if you happen to be in the area as well. And now another question I've gotten is the camera, and how has the camera been performing? Has there been any updates to the camera? Now, it's still a solid camera experience on the Mi 10. I wouldn't say to the level of the Mi 10 Pro. The lacking telephoto, I think, is something that I do value, but you can see here I'm on MIUI version 11.0.10. Now, what I understand is that 11.0.11 is the one with the software that DxOMark tested for the Mi 10 Pro. Whether that's going to improve the camera experience here on the regular Mi 10, we'll wait to see, but at this point I'm still waiting on that update. But if you haven't seen my camera comparisons with this Mi 10 compared to the S20 Ultra and Mi 10 Pro, go check them out. This phone performed admirably in those tests, and as you can see, it can still take some great shots, and the selfie camera is as good, I'd say, as the one on the Mi 10 Pro, so you're not losing anything there. But what you are gaining, I think, is in battery. The 4,780 milliampere capacity on this phone is holding up very nicely. And in my epic drain test earlier this week, this was the only phone to last over 10 hours of screen on time with a very heavy test. You don't get as fast the charging times. Yes, 58 minutes, but compared to the Mi 10 Pro of 44 minutes, you're talking about a 14-minute difference. It's not that big a difference, so you're really not losing out too much there either. And so when it comes to battery life, I think this may be the more well-rounded option for a lot of you guys out there to consider. And last but not least, let's talk about it. Which phone do I plan to keep, the Mi 10 or the Mi 10 Pro? I think this is one of those examples similar to the Mi Note 10 series previously, where you had two phones that actually provided a lot of similar specs, but there were a few differences in terms of camera that made the Mi Note 10 Pro a better option. This Mi 10, I think, is the sweet spot in terms of price. And whether you think a telephoto included lens, slightly better speakers, slightly faster charging, and a slightly more color accurate display is worth the extra money to you, that's gonna be up to you. But I think for a lot of you guys, after seeing the testing I've done here on this Mi 10 for the past 2 weeks and seeing how it's performed in battery tests, in audio tests, in camera tests, you're realizing now that the Mi 10 really does hit that sweet spot of price to performance and may be the better option for a lot of you guys out there. At 3,999 Yuan, you're in that 550 OnePlus 7T or even less price range. And so I think this is going to be a major hit for Xiaomi once this goes global. But we shall wait and see. And hit me up in the comments any questions you specifically have about this Mi 10 and how it has held up over 2 weeks. I would say it is the sweet spot and it is holding up very nicely so far. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching the videos this week. It's been a busy one, but it's been a lot of fun preparing all this content for you guys. I do appreciate it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.